We are recording. So I want to welcome everyone and to Women's History Month. It's the time of the month when we, or the time of the year actually, when we have an opportunity to draw attention to the women that are really making major contributions to their particular field and industry. And today I have with me Zoey Smith from Zbra Studios, who is definitely one of those women that's making a major contribution. So Zoey, before I get into my interrogation questions, tell us a little bit about what you do at Zbra Studios.
Yeah, definitely. So we're a marketing company. We're based up in Los Angeles, and we really focus, probably our main sweet spot is we work with websites and website development and optimization. So we make large websites for large companies who are looking for a very detailed website experience for their customers. Typically, we work with a company that might be, maybe like a national franchisor who has a lot of locations, or a property management company that has apartment complexes all around the country. And what we do is we do a national solution as well as individual sites for all their different locations. And then we do a lot of optimization work from there too.
Well, you know what's really exciting about the field in which you work is that you have really upped your game, and in terms of the recognition that your company is getting. And I think the awards that your company has received certainly speak for themselves. You were ranked as one of the top 10 WordPress sites in Los Angeles. And as a matter of fact, one of the awards that you've received that is really impressive is being ranked among California's best B2B UX and web design companies, which is not a small thing. You know, we are the 5th largest economy in the world. And so the fact that your company has accomplished that really speaks volumes about the quality of the work that you do. You mentioned also about working with different franchises. And I noticed also that you had received a Best in Class award for your website development for working from 1851. You may have to explain this to myself and to those who are watching today, but from 1850 franchise and Lions CG Horizon Interactive Awards. So can you tell us a little bit about that particular group and that award?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different, awards are nice because it's nice to have somebody else do some kind of external validation of what you're doing and showing that you've got some stuff being noticed. Those were, in those cases, one was a broader organization that was awarding for a lot of different categories. And for that one, I think it was the real estate website category for something we'd done for a property management company. And the other was a company that works specifically with franchises. And they awarded a franchise development website that we did, which is basically a recruiting site designed to help people understand a franchise opportunity and help them make a decision on whether or not they might want to actually become a franchisee within this franchise system. Ooh. So those were those particular instances. Yeah.
Very good. So definitely having an impact not only on your immediate marketing industry, but the industries that you are serving as well, in terms of helping people really make that transition successfully. So one of the things that I know about you is that you were 22 years old when you launched your business. And so you were definitely a young entrepreneur. What was it that inspired you at the age of 22 to go out into this big world of entrepreneurship?
Well, for me, it was actually saying no to another opportunity, because I started my business pretty much immediately after I finished college. And when I was in college, I was working part-time in the marketing department for a venue down in Southern California. They were a fairly large, well-known company. And they actually made me a job offer when I finished school. And I remember when I got the job offer, just having this feeling of dread, because I had this unique insight because I'd been working there part-time. So I knew what the company culture was like, and I knew what the work was going to be like. And I knew I wasn't going to be challenged. I knew that the marketing department wasn't particularly respected. And I hated the idea of having that be my future. And so I came home and I sort of spent quite a bit of time wrestling with the idea of, I don't want to do this. And I'd been doing some freelancing on the side, and I decided that, you know what, I'm going to say no to this opportunity. And instead, I'm going to really kind of dive into freelancing. And I went back to the company who made me the job offer and offered to do some initial freelancing for them. And they became one of my first clients, my first large clients. And so, yes, and that was actually kind of nice because I was able to spin that no into something that then helped me kind of launch my own business. And so I started initially doing my own marketing, freelancing, and then hired my own freelancers and eventually hired employees who then do these special skills a lot better than I could ever do in the beginning.
So you've been in business for 13 years. So that in itself is major because of the statistics that we see with small business owners. But also, you really came out on top after the economic downturn of 2008. And so what were some of the challenges that you faced in this transition period? And what did you do to overcome them?
So for me, I was actually one of those unique cases where the economic downturn was a big boom for my business. Because what was happening was that at that time, you had a lot of companies that had their internal marketing departments and they were letting some people go. They're trying to figure out how to cut costs.
Right.
So they were reaching out to companies like mine who could do projects on a one-to-one basis. And I was able to really use that as a big opportunity for us to grow because there was kind of this opening that had been made in the market. And I think that that's really been kind of a key element of our success is trying to figure out how to turn and pivot our business into a place where we could accept opportunities as they came up and how to see things that might be a problem as something that could actually work for us as a company.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you talk about what inspired you to start your business and how you turned that no around and how you took what happened in the economic downturn and turned that into an opportunity for your organization. That's really impressive. So knowing what you know now about after being in business for 13 years, going from a freelancer to more of a structured business and with employees, what advice would you give to women who are either considering starting a business or even women who have been in business for a while?
Yeah, what I would really say are probably two key elements. First of all, community and relationship building is really important. With my company, almost all of our business comes from word of mouth referrals. And the services that we use, from finding good health insurance for my employees to bookkeeping and accounting and all these other elements that are so important to be able to create an organization that functions, all of that came out of people who I met along the way who were able to I was able to learn from, who really liked our interactions with us as a company, who then would refer us to others. And honestly, being able to make good connections with other women who are working and learning from their expertise has been so important because it can be very isolating to be an entrepreneur and to run your own business. And to be able to realize that you're not in this on your own, that there's other resources that exist out there. You should never have to try to reinvent everything. You should try to take that hand up and that leg up whenever you can at every possible opportunity. And from there, you can really grow off that expertise and learn how to kind of catapult your business to the next level. And I think probably the only other thing that I'd say for me that was really important was, like you mentioned, kind of turning those no's around. So when you run into a situation where you see maybe another company who's doing something that feels like they're handling things so much better than maybe your company is doing, which was always something for me. I'm very competitive. And what I try to do is when I see things that maybe are good examples of how I could run my business better based on what other companies are doing, try to learn from those and turn that into something then that I can leverage for my own company. So that constant kind of need to improve what you're doing and take advice from what others are doing in the industry can really be a way to kind of just create a better company and a better experience for those around you.
Yeah, so that's really an interesting balance, isn't it? The digital world and the community world. The digital where we're connected, but we may not have that human interaction versus, or in blending in, incorporating that human interaction to get to really know people and develop relationships.
Yes, definitely.
So I want to be mindful of your time because I know that you're a busy entrepreneur, but I thank you so much for doing this for myself, for the people in the community at Eureka, for those who are clients of Innovation, for every woman who's in business around the world. And but before we go, I want to just check in to see if there's anything else that you want to add or any other advice you'd give.
I have one probably final piece, and that's just if you're ever in a situation where you feel trapped or you're unhappy with what you're doing, it's really important to take that risk and go out there and change it to something you want it to be. Because I could still be in that, job that I didn't want to take, making a lot less money than I make now, feeling trapped. And because I took that risk, and a lot of things obviously I did with my business, some worked out better than others, but I think it's really important never to feel static and feel like you're stuck with things that you don't like. You've got this opportunity to be the change. And I think that's the most exciting thing about having your own business is you can make that happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because we own our own business because we want to be able to set things up the way that we want. And it's important to remember that we are the ones that are in that CEO position can make those changes, right?
Yes.
So I just want to close with a quote that I found online yesterday when I was looking for something that I thought really described you and how I know you. And I found this great quote that I'm going to read. It's by an American actress. Her name is Merle Danridge. And she said, as women, we have superpowers. We are sisters. We are healers. We are goddess warriors. And I think the goddess warrior, Zoey, describes you perfectly. So
why, thank you. I should put that on my desk.
Yes, I think we need a t-shirt, right?
Yes.
Or an email signature, goddess warrior. Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate you and who you are and the role that you've played in my life and in my career. And I so thank you for your time and sharing your wisdom and your expertise with us.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. I really appreciate you having me.
My pleasure.